So it was July 2020, after about a year of watching this thing on eBay kick around, NEC Versa M75 486 DX275. I decided to take a chance on it. After all, I'd learned a whole bunch of things about the Versa series from old PC mags and some other stuff, Beja Vision, BBIS Bishop, his channel, and just researching around. Anyway, these are a series of clips I've made over the last several months going over the documentation of just the laptop alone. And we'll talk about it more in the Words video.
Sorry for the messy desk. Greetings and welcome to a creeping net thing. Probably, I don't do unboxing videos very often, or actually ever, but let's get started. This is my next most project. Whoa, where did the razor blade go? It fell out. Okay, well, I always do this the old school way. Okay, I'll just put that somewhere safe up here, like my window, and put that over there. So I'll do that. Now we shall open this. Oh, wow. You really did a good job unpacking this. Foam. Well, does that look familiar? And then there were two. God dang it. Whoa. I didn't know that part was attached to the bottom. Jeez. What we've got here is the NEC Versa. This is Versa number 1. My 1994 NEC Versa 40EC. And this one is probably a 94 or maybe a 95 Versa M75. You can tell it's got the speaker there. It's got the compact words attachment underneath. This is like insane. So apparently this compact words thing is actually like a augmented speech synthesizer. It's a piece of medical equipment. As you can see, it goes into a PCMCIA card in here. That's a part of the computer. Come on, come out. There you are. Yeah, there it is. Whoa, what the heck is this? Serial I/O adapter card, credit card, socket, COM2. Yeah, you can see they broke the door off the side here. And then in back, we've got the parallel port connector for the Words Plus thing. It looks like it came from LSU Medical Center in Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah, this is an interesting little beast. Let's go plug in some stuff and fire it up. They didn't put the hard drive door back on very well now, did they? Okay, these had 8 megabytes of RAM on the board instead of 4, so this one's going to have 12 megabytes. I don't know if the hard drive or any of that is really going to work, but it's worth a shot just to see. This is really tricky to get on here. This is why I do this stuff off camera normally. Or at least try to keep it off camera. Yes, I'm surprised. The hinge actually seems pretty sturdy considering the damage. Let's go scrape all this off. Looks like more plastic cracked off during the trip. Oh well. Cracked screen. It looks more like it's just a cracked digitizer. We'll check that out. Anyway, I got the power plug from the old one, which should work with this one, and we'll plug it in. Wow, we have 2 batteries. Sheesh. Wonder what type of batteries it's got. Get at them, because I know they're like in the middle there. Yeah, let's see if they even charge. Anyway, let's power it on. Speaker. We got something going on. I see something on screen. Screen's kind of faint. There it goes, full brightness. Found its card, and it's booting up. It's really hard to see. The screen's good. The digitizer, I think, is the part that's cracked here for the touch screen. Yeah, there's like a hole in the side here. I think that was actually for a pen or something. It looks like that's been trimmed off. Windows. Touch. Well, let's see if it even follows my finger. There's audio. Windows for pen computing. Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, the touch screen doesn't work at all. And it's because this digitizer is cracked. Yeah, it looks like it works otherwise. Actually, VersaTrack's working really nice. I like it better than my other one. Alright, let's go ahead and go over here. Let's exit Windows. It's a little faint, but I think I got a fix for this craziness. We'll take the screen from that and put it on this. Yeah, a bunch of stuff broke off. It looks like I'll be able to fix it though. And maybe even work on that hinge a bit. I'm going to try restoring that one first because that one's kind of cool. Let's see if this screen even goes in here. So we got that door shut. There you go. Let's hit this. Looks a lot better. Alright. First things first, I'm going to take this off of here. So yep, it's working pretty good. And that screen over there, as you can see where the lines are, it's got a cracked digitizer. Luckily I can source one of those. Might have to do some interesting clay work down here for the hinge though. It seems pretty solid, but it's got some issues, I think. So we'll see about reinforcing that. I might also take a look at the pen I/O thing and all that other stuff while I'm at it. Maybe I can reproduce all that stuff. Anyway, back to this one. We're going to start taking this compact word stuff off because I really don't have an interest in using this at all. Might be an interesting toy for a project or whatever, but mainly meant for like... Oh, actually, let's go back on the Windows and see what that pen thing does, because I don't have the pen stylus attached at all, so... Windows for Workgroups 3.11. Classic sound. There you go. Okay, we're gonna go under here, Versa registration, MindPath main, pen tools, trainer, pen palette. So we have like pen computing stuff on here. Talking screen for Windows. Let's see what happens if I do talking screen for Windows. Yeah, this is for the words plus thing down here. I don't know if it's going to make any sound though, because I don't have anything plugged into it. I'll play with this more later when I get the whole system fixed up. I plan to make this though an external thing because I really don't want to have to deal with it. What's really nice is the CMOS battery is still good, so definitely will work as my main laptop system while I get this screen over here whipped into shape. This is it's got the original nub on it. It seems to be in much better condition than this one is. This one has a much nicer LCD, but at the moment. But here we go. Let's see what happens if I click on this. This is really slow. Damn. The batteries. Good. Heat. Nuggets. So this was probably what it was originally intended for. I'm so relieved though that only the Digitizer is the problem here. The big trick's going to be getting this whole bottom plastic section here fixed. Yeah, but it's working and it's running pretty good. I'm going to take all this stuff off and boot it up in FreeDOS. Just removed all the stuff off the bottom. I also just revealed that basically this one is the one that uses the smart batteries. Let's see here. Two smart batteries here. This one and that one. Don't look to be bulged or anything. So you can see it uses the smart batteries. I'm just going to leave both of them in there because I don't really use a floppy drive very much on this. I'm actually using FTP. We took off all that Velcro that attached the Compact Words Plus to it. There's a speaker there. This thing could be quite interesting to mess around with. Might mess around with on the 40EC, because I think the 40EC actually could use this as some kind of sound device, which would be kind of cool. It's got a serial port, printer port, printer output, so you can use printer. You have these. Yeah, so basically I have two compact words compatible dealies, and it's got this serial port card that looks like it would normally have a dongle, but somebody just wired it up with a ribbon cable. So I got that last piece there. Apparently this is for locking the batteries in place, which I never really need, and it's kind of broken anyway, so I'm just going to finish getting all this goo off, and then I'm going to put it together and take it for a spin using FreeDOS and see what happens. And maybe later I can disassemble the monitor, the original screen for this, and take a look inside. So I've started taking the screen off. As you can see, the digitizer is actually attached to the bezel. Go figure. Well, we'll change that when I do the thing, because it's less likely to make the screen damaged. Anyway, I'm just trying to get these side pieces off, and this whole back section. I'm trying to do it without having all this glass just sort of fall everywhere. Everything else stays in the screen, I can just dump it all out. So now we've got the digitizer off. As we can see, it goes to this board right here, where the contrast is, and there's where sort of the pen goes into here. Plugs in via I think it's a 1/8 inch phono jack. And up here, this is the actual digitizer connector here. It is looks to be a 5-wire. You got black, white, green, red, blue. And digitizer, let's look close at it. Let's back up. Digitizer is Micro Touch R2.2, part number 8546310001. Looks like. It is kind of frosted and dirty. So I'm thinking I could probably get an adequate replacement for this somewhere. I'm going to take a picture of that part number and yeah.
So I basically removed the entire digitizer assembly from the M75 and stupidly threw it in the trash before grabbing all the numbers, so I had to dumpster dive for it again to pull it out. You can read the numbers on screen. I mean, heck, if you know where I can locate a digitizer for this thing. I believe the digitizer is a 3M MicroTouch surface capacitive digitizer. I could tell this because later on I kind of started to dismantle it and took it apart to figure out where the leads went and where the electrodes were inside the actual touch screen. And I basically made a nice little diagram of a pinout, probably towards the end of this whole line of photographs of my various deconstructive work. But yeah, if anybody has a line on where I can get a screen on this thing, feel free to send me a private message or something. It was also around this time I started perfecting my JB weld technique for NEC Versa hinges. The process is pretty simple and straightforward. What I usually do is I use foil tape across any of the damaged sections of the screen or the hinge casing, and I use whatever remaining plastic pieces and piece them together like a puzzle, attaching them to the inside of my handmade mold. Then after that, I mix up some JB Weld Original, 50 parts hardener, 50 parts epoxy, and then I just sort of goop it in there, trying to kind of fill in the corners where it's really soft or weaken a structure where the plastic cracks the most. Sometimes putting on 3 or 4 layers total while roughing up in between with coats of 400 grit. When it's done, it's actually really solid, but one thing I also do is I also try to loosen the little C-clip or whatever that thing, friction clip at the end of the hinge, so then you can actually move the screen and not worry about cracking it. That was a big problem that was pointed out. Also, another detail is that I do sand the plastic afterward, usually with a 600 or 800 grit sandpaper, and use a Dremel to try and open up the spot for the hinge, being careful not to remove too much material.
Right now we're running on my 80 gig hard drive. Alright, here we are on the Versa M75. Hit spacebar. So this one I have set up with 2 different hard drives. This is the original 540 I use with the compact words, but this is my multi-boot drive. Originally I had FreeDOS 2.1 on here. I really liked it, but I wanted to run some stuff for Windows 98 Second Edition. So my options here, it's triple boot basically. First off, I have Windows or boot MS-DOS 711 clean boot. Boot MS-DOS 711 standard. This one here is internet support, which allows me to use my AeroNet and use the MTCP tools to push files to it via FTP, which works really well. Yeah, the card in here that I'm using for Wi-Fi is a Cisco AeroNet LMC352. It's the model that's actually designed to go into a PCI card. And I did that so I can keep this door shut for a more modern laptop type experience. Next up, Windows for Workgroups 3.11, which I had to be really careful with because of the ifshelp.sys driver messing up my Windows 98 Second Edition installation. And then you're probably going, wait a second, a Versa M75? Is that a Pentium or is that a 486? Well, in creeping net tradition, because I freaking love the 486, this is a 486 DX275. And it somehow runs a bit more smoothly than that thing there, which is kind of funny because that's a DX4100, but it's an AMD. This is a DX475, but it's an Intel. I guess maybe that 8K level 2 cache does make a difference. Whereas this has 16. Anyway, we're going to go on down to Windows 98 Second Edition. And what's strange is it actually doesn't run 98 too bad. And it takes about maybe a minute to load, maybe 2 minutes. We'll see here. And it started about 227. It's already 232 now, I think. There you go. Audio's initialized. This one differs from my 40EC. My 40EC has a Western Digital graphics chipset, 1 megabyte. This is a 1 megabyte Chips and Technologies chipset, which I found behaves a lot better for retro gaming than the Western Digital does. In particular, if you're running like NES games through Nesticle, you want to have your emulation and your DOS games in one spot. I find running in like the lower 256 by 256 and stuff like that, you'll have a repeat of the screen over there. Whereas, yep, here we go, my login prompt. She's feeling a little cranky today. Yep. Yeah, I actually put that top bar in there. And it's going kind of slow today. I'm guessing because it's hot in the house right now. But yeah, that runs up there. As you can see, it lists removable disk A, even though it's not there. I have 4 partitions on here per my usual. C is my OS, D is my apps, E is my games, and F is just a miscellaneous drive. I also have a virtual CD-ROM on here so we can run Diablo. And there goes the air conditioner. So I'm going to try to take this out. And maybe close it. Anyway, I put 98 light on this, and it's even running even more smoothly. So I'm going to confirm toolbar close. Now you might be wondering, dude, why are you such a crazy crack to put Windows 98 SE on a 486? I mean, wouldn't it be slow? Au contraire, once it boots up, it's kind of like Windows 7 was. It takes a while to boot up, but once it gets up, it's actually not that bad. Let's go down here. I've got a whole bunch of crap on this computer. Here we go. Let's run Diablo and see how it runs. What I always find hilarious about running Diablo on any 486 is the basic fact that the manual explicitly states, do not run this game on a 486 computer or it won't run properly. Seems to be running fine to me. Heck, Postal will run on this thing. And that wasn't too bad. It's a little cranky today, but I think it probably needs a defrag, something awful. Because I've been adding files and also deleting tons of files. Alright, sometimes it takes a little encouragement via the touchpad, but once it comes up, voila, and there it is. Yeah, sorry you had to see that. Whatever. Yeah, it takes it a few minutes to get through the menus, but once it gets going, it's not too bad. Alright, so my original game. This is the beauty of virtual CD-ROM. Oh, it looks like we're waiting. Let's see where the hard drive's going. Hard drive running nice and fast. There it goes. It's already darting up. Once it gets about somewhere up here, it starts moving a little quicker. Any day now. I don't know why this is being slow. This wasn't like this earlier. It's one of those hello my baby, hello my honey frogs moments. From the old Looney Tunes cartoon. Don't go ribbit on me. Hey, it's actually playing at the proper speed. I don't know why it's having such a tough time today. Maybe it's because I installed 98 Lite, but at least the music's running at the correct speed now. Before it was running really slow.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
It's been a while since I played this. Ooh. Short sword. I don't have enough money. Scimitar. Yeesh. So this should give you a bit of an idea. It actually doesn't run too bad on here. I think it's just running rough right now because I just did a bunch of tweaks, so probably my tweaks messed it up. Oh well. But yeah, it does run Diablo. No. The first time I ran this on here, though, something went crazy with the Windows sound system audio, and it started running it really slow, and it's running the music really slow. But the game was running at full speed, and it sounded really demonic. It was kind of awesome. It fit better than that medieval orchestral music. It also does DOS games pretty well. Actually, there's something I haven't tried on here yet. Let's see how Nesticle runs. I prefer my DOS full screen, dagnabbit. No, I need to get E colon. Watch me fumbling around DOS like an idiot. Can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Shoot, I forgot. It's in emulators. ULATOR/NES. Yes! Here we go. Let's load a ROM. Let's go down and play one of the Dragon Warrior games. Oh my god, it works. The sample rate is janky though. I bet you're like, Mike, this hurts my ears. Hey, it's better than nothing. This is mobile NES. Doing it like it's 1994. Oh yeah. Come on. Hey, you try playing NES with a keyboard with one hand. If this was Super Mario Brothers, I couldn't do anything with this at all. The audio is hilarious. It's like somebody stuffed a Game Boy under the sea. Look at the graphics. I mean, that's pretty darn smooth for a 486 from 1994 running this. And people are probably like, oh, of course it is. The 486 running 6502 code from the 80s. It should be fast. It'd be laughable if it wasn't. Those people who say stuff like that have no appreciation for what these emulators actually are capable of doing. I might need edit nesticle.config. Anyway, let's go ahead and exit out of this. See if we can do something about that sound. Yeah, and well, let's make some more crazy clips. Let's try, I don't know, Adventure in Z26. Oh, this is Adventures of Tron. Hey, we got sound. Well, here we go. Let's see how horrifically slow this is. It's a little slower now because we actually have sound. Z26 is struggling to get to full speed. I love the sound effects. Wonder why it's faster in this room. Yeah, just to let you know, this is highly amusing to me because this is my first day actually getting the sound to work in anything that's DOS related. To talk a little more about it while I cruise through adventure at a casual pace, of course. Yeah, so this laptop and a lot of early 90s computers that used a Crystal Audio CS4231 chipset. That chip is what they call Windows Sound System chipset. Basically, Microsoft tried to come up with their own standard for PC audio in the early 90s. And that was the Windows Sound System. And the problem with these chipsets, though, is one, some of them are crippled, so you don't have any sort of software synthesizer support. Let it go. Let it go. Not very excited, are you? Anyway, back to the subject. Windows Sound System Audio. It was kind of a universal standard. How it worked is it basically set the audio to memory address 534 instead of 220, like a Sound Blaster card. And so in order to be able to run games, you usually had to run them through Windows if the games were even compatible with Windows Sound System. There is a way to do Sound Blaster emulation through it, which is part of the reason I put Windows 98 SE on this, is because the drivers... Well, I did it as an experiment, and it just turned out, luckily the drivers have a Sound Blaster emulator mode for Windows 9X, so I decided, okay, well, I'll use it. And this is really crawling. So Windows Sound System, if you find a 486 laptop, you got to be careful because they might have just a Windows Sound System thing. Now that said, I looked at the driver discs from NEC for this particular model, M75. This is like a rave on Valium. Anyway, it's some of the Windows Sound System. We'll see if I can get some other stuff going for you.